Today I received a rather hilarious challenge. We are going to be replacing redstone wires with minecart rails. And we're going to try our best to see what sort of contraptions we can make if the only way that we could transmit redstone signals is by sending a minecart round a track. And just as a quick warning, you might want to start getting used to that noise, because you're going to be hearing plenty of it. In my hotbar are all of the items that I'm allowed to use. All the different types of minecart rails, of course a minecart, a lever for the input and only the input, and then we're allowed observers, sticky pistons, and regular pistons. That's everything. First task, double piston extender. So I think I might have done the extension circuit for this thing. It's pretty simple and also pretty small. Let's just make sure all of our pistons and everything like that are in place. And if we place in this minecart right here and then flick it on, there is the extension. And also our minecart makes its way up to the top, which means that we can then stop it somewhere ready to do the retraction circuit, because obviously we're only allowed to use one minecart and the retraction circuit has to be on the falling edge, which could be tricky actually. This is going to be really tricky. So this lever right here is what's going to launch our minecart, but then once it goes round, it's then going to be stopped here. Then when we flick the lever, it will allow the minecart to move on to the next section where we have to, I guess, extend and retract this one, then extend and retract this one, and then do the middle one. This is going to be so difficult. Things are getting pretty beefy. They're getting pretty huge. I think I've worked out the logic for the top circuit. We just have to make sure that all of these things are powered. But as you can see, this is not going to be a small... It's not going to be a small contraption. I think that's safe to say. So let's give this a go then. All of this is powered. We should have full minecart coverage now. The blue circuit is the extension circuit, and then the orange circuit is the full retraction circuit. And this right here is where our singular minecart is going to be going. So let's replace this block, replace both of these pistons, and by the look of things, I've accidentally powered it somewhere. Now that that's been fixed, let's give this thing a whirl. So when we flick this lever, we should see that we get the full double piston extension. Oh no! This is not good. My idea for a stopper hasn't worked. But it's alright because I've come up with a new one. This is a little platform that will extend out, halting our minecart on top of there, and then when we want to do the retraction, it will drop the minecart down so that it can continue on the circuit. So let's give it another go. Right, we flick the lever, and we should get the full double extension, and then our minecart stops up at the top right there, and then when we want to do the retraction, it drops down, and... oh, it's a little bit too quick. Things are getting more and more complicated by the second. So this is the circuit that we've had to add to actually get the minecart back to the start. And I've also had to make some changes up at the top. But hopefully now, fingers crossed, this thing is fully functional. And 3, 2, 1, extension. That's good. And then retraction. This is the bit that's worrying. Slow, but successful. And then we can flick the lever again, and there is the extension, and it will be held, and then we can flick the lever once more, and we can do the retraction. Okay, so we have successfully created a double piston extender. Even though it may be the biggest double piston extender on the planet, we have done it using minecarts. So now let's move on to the next one. I thought I would try doing a T flip-flop, but then I realized that actually minecarts make that really simple. Look, we hit the button, and we get ourselves an output. And we hit the button again, and it turns off the output. I mean, if you ever needed a visual representation of a T flip-flop, I think this is the perfect one for it. Call me ridiculous, call me insane, but I want to build a 4x4 vault door. That's kind of like the end goal here. I just thought I'd give it a whirl. I mean, it is going to be a complex thing to construct, though. Like, seriously. Seriously. We've got double piston extenders and a whole bunch of other piston action going on. We might have to involve 2 different minecart tracks here. Do I think this is going to work? I'm not 100% certain, but am I willing to try it? Absolutely. This could be a really simple breakthrough in our minecart double piston extender technology. Oh, that was so close! So the top one actually functions. Look, if we place in a minecart now... we're really almost there. I wonder why it's the only the top one. That's insane. Maybe this setup will work? I think that did it. I genuinely think that just did it. Look, can you see? So we have the pistons. Let's place in some blocks so that we can see this happening. So we hit the button. That's the extension. And yeah. There we go. So if we wanted to retract this thing, obviously we're going to need to place in a minecart. There we go. That is awesome. Nicely done. Very, very nicely done. Okay, well that's a large quantity of the vault door just completed right there. Now if this functions, I'm actually going to go into shock, I think. Because what I've done is I've added in a few extra observers and things. So this will extend out these blocks to here. And this one will extend out, hopefully, these blocks to here. To give us a large quantity of the vault door all done. So if we hit this button... No! Surely not! Look at that! That's like a substantial quantity. And it retracts all of it as well. And that's just one minecart rail. Now, because this entire thing is just 3 blocks wide, I kind of want to keep it 3 blocks wide just to see if I can manage to pull it off. So for these ones, all we're going to need is some of these and then some of these, and that will do it. Okay, so then we just need to make the minecart go down there, round here, and then back up. So the minecart will then fall back down there. That needs to be powered, so it will land on top of this minecart rail and then go across like that and fall back to the start. So one complete loop going up and around, powering everything. And in theory, just 3 blocks wide. Now, I could give this one side a go to see if it all functions, or I could mirror it, build the same thing on the other side as well, put both minecarts in, and just see if the entire door functions all as one. This is nerve-wracking. Let's go. Mildly embarrassing. Mildly embarrassing. Not what I had hoped for. Did they just not have the energy? What happened there? Oh. Okay, I can think of ways I can salvage this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this observer setup that was originally here to over here, and then that is going to run into that block there, which will power that piston. This one deals with this piston, so that's all fine. So that means that now we have powered rails much sooner than beforehand. So it should catch onto this and then be brought up like that. Yeah, so this is the original setup, this is the new one. Much better. I've just discovered a slightly fatal flaw in the design, but I just hope that the actual mechanism itself works. Which it so almost did. We've got an issue down here, that is a problem. But what happened to this one block? What's wrong with this? What happened? I've made it more reliable, but I've now run into another problem. I can no longer run an input into this thing. There's no way for me to do it. Ah, it hurts my brain. I can't work it out. I cannot work it. No, I still can't work it out. I thought I'd come up with something, but I hadn't. I can't help myself. I just want to see if it works. I've added in a little bit of redstone. It works flawlessly. It works absolutely flawlessly. It's even kind of in sync. Until it's not. As soon as these things get out of whack, it has to be in perfect synchronization, otherwise these don't work. Which has all been fixed, and now we also have our input circuit, which of course utilizes minecarts as well. Originally I was going to run a redstone line into this thing, but then I thought that would not be in keeping with this challenge. So, we hit this button, and that will activate the minecarts, they travel off, and we get ourselves a fully functioning 4x4 vault door. Everything returns back to the start, and when we hit the button once again, we get the full opening sequence as well. I am proud of this thing. I am stupidly proud of this thing. Minecart does take a little while to launch off, so we might need to make some changes there. But other than that, it's perfect. I mean, I can't believe we've actually managed to pull this thing off. And so compactly as well. We have nailed it. So there we go. That is what would happen if we replaced redstone wires with minecart rails. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit that like button, and if you really loved it, then make sure to subscribe. But thanks for watching, guys. This has been Mumbo, and I'm out. I'll see you later. And as per usual, check out the latest film on the filming channel. New one just released today. It's a good one. You should watch it. See you later.